So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me the National Coordinator, Network on Police Reforms in Nigeria, NOPRIN, Mr. Ikule Emmanuel. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you.
Good morning this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to, in a special way, appreciate Unchained Vibes Africa for the good work they have done to bring us together to share ideas and see how we can improve this sector and see what we can add and contribute to ensure we have a better ground and a better environment for young persons coming up to learn a lot. A lot has been said about civic space. A lot has been said about freedoms. And a lot has been said about different views about how we feel this sector should work. I will talk just three things. The first one, the laws that actually limits the work we do, the impact of security agencies on the work we do, and then way forward. I'll try just to summarize it. So we have been talking about freedom of expression, and this can be seen in Section 37 of the Nigerian's 1999 Constitution that talks about freedom of expression. This 69. Is also part of the Section 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which we got. Nigeria also a signatory to this particular concept. And it empowers us to talk. It empowers us to be able to be creative with our ideas, see how we can bring our ideas to bear on what we do in our society, improve our society, and how we can have a better environment. But still, just like the human rights lawyer said earlier, all these rights, be it Section 37, 38, 39, 40, they are limited also by Section 45, which also gives rights for the government to also, in the advent of national security, in the advent of other ideas or other issues, to actually clamp on or prevent or limit that freedom of expression, which is the reason why every time you try to complain about the situation in our country, be it by artists, NSAS was just one of the situations we had in the country. You see them coming around and always looking at reason that they got intel that they maybe the NSAS or the protests will be infiltrated by hoodlums. Have we ever heard that political rallies were also infiltrated by hoodlums? So those are the issues we normally have. People trying to give reasons why people cannot check them. Why our country is where we are, it's because of absence of accountability. Our systems are failing because even laws that we have oversight agencies, those oversight bodies are not functioning. A lot of, from the first opening speech by the Executive Director of Unchained Vibes Africa, he gave different examples at different times where even artists and other entertainers were actually being attacked or their rights were being violated by security agencies. But a lot of persons are also not aware that before the 2020 that we had a new police act, what the Nigerian police were using was a police act of 1943. That is a colonial act. So whatever they were reflecting was based on what was permitted during colonial times. And they were using that to work. Until 2020, when that particular act was signed into law. But still, the very president, upon signing that act, in the less than 2-3 months, he actually started even going against that very act he signed. By having an acting IGP and all that. In choosing or getting an IG, you have a NEC meeting. Other persons make input on the person you want to choose. Not that the president decides on his own and chooses who becomes an IG. And most of public holders, office holders, ministers and all that are being appointed most times by who? The president. So it also means indirectly that most of these persons are answerable to the president, not you. So, just like I said earlier, I'll talk about the laws that are limiting the civic space where artists and other persons in this sector actually have been working. We have talked a lot about censorship, so I won't go into that aspect. But there's also other legislations that also try to affect freedom of expression. We have anti-terrorism law. So there are things you may do, simple communication. You may make a Facebook post, just like Agba Jalingo did some time back. And he was arrested for trying to incite and trying to link it to terrorism, and was arrested and all that. That is just one of those scenarios. We have cybercrime laws also that actually monitors the civic space. Let me tell you for us that don't know, ladies and gentlemen, that everything you do online is actually being monitored. If they are not using it, it's because you are not opposing the government, and the government is not interested in your case. As of last year, the government spent about 100 billion on surveillance alone. There's a company, I think Seco, that was paid about 76 billion to supply intel online. They monitor data online and they supply it to the federal government. So songs, clips, skits you do, they also be monitored. And sometimes they come and start following up with you. You discover you just entered your home and people are around, not because they are waiting for you there, but because they can follow you as long as you are using the gadget to your house. All of us were aware about the 5 billion for monitoring of WhatsApp. That one was a common one. But since the time of Goodluck Jonathan till date, anything you do online, if they are not following you, the government is not following you, it's because they are not interested in your matter. Anytime you want to oppose a particular wrong way or wrong thing done by the government clamps on you and tell you you don't have a right to protest. Just imagine a commissioner of police of Lagos State announcing that protest is not allowed. Who has given you that powers? That is how our country is currently. So let me just rush back to the police. There are a lot of things that most people don't know. When the police, there are a lot of issues relating to the police, why they behave the way they do. So from the recruitment process, there are gaps. From the trainings, there are gaps, which the CSOs have tried in several ways to do capacity building. But at the end of the day, we have anti-torture acts. Do the police still torture people to get intel? They still do. So way forward, for us to have a better civic space, for us to work better, it's always important that entertainers, or those of us in this sector, we have to dialogue. We have to, first of all, advocacy. We can do it at the state level. It can also be done at the federal level, which will make us come closer to security agencies and make us work better. As friends, we work better. We try to document cases of abuses every year and try to petition them, take them to court and all that, but we'll still work with them. And they listen to us. We can also organize media parley with security agencies to address concerns of security agencies, because consistently, those of us in these sectors have always been attacked. If you check online, there are about different cases of people that have been murdered because of tattoo, because of one reason or the other. So let us not wait until it becomes our turn before we look for the opportunity to cry. Cry now. Let's work together. Then we should also learn to work with the security. Go to them. Some of the good works they are doing, we can also support them, publicize it, just like our mommy was advising. It's very, very important. In doing so, they know that you have them at heart, and they can also support this process. Last but not the least, for those that have complaints against police abuses, we, NOPRIN Foundation, will document those abuses and try to aid access to justice. And we work with Nigerian Police Complaint Response Unit, which they are always handy to also assist. and Police Service Commission. Police Service Commission are not too proactive, but just like we said earlier, it's about working together. And we know that collectively we improve the Police Service Commission to work for them to exist in all states so that they can play a better oversight on the police to punish erring officers and for them to be responsive to our rights, but for us to also know that they also are victims of the society they are coming from as well. Thank you for your time.